IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain.
Feed me now.
Feed your brain. Stop him!
Good morning. Today is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, no matter what the weather, and no matter the fact that things can't get better. You are with me, the fitness representative, and this is the Fitness Report radio show coming to you live from Chicago / the suburbs of Illinois. Today we have a good show coming up. Really dig into some things that are important to this for this time of the year. We got some upcoming events, we got some advertising, and we have topics that we want to discuss. So I want you guys to think about a couple of things today. Think about the main thing I want you to think about is the fact that today is the beginning of your last 90-day period before you can really say, hey, it's summertime. I can chill out. I can kind of like coast through the rest of the summer, making sure that my body is, pretty good, and I can go on vacation wherever I want to in the world. So what we want to do today, we're going to introduce you to a product that's is been sweeping the nation for a while now. This is probably my 6th or 7th year promoting the product. One of my buddies, one of my close friends definitely came up with it a while back, and he put it out there for everybody to enjoy. And we've gone across the nation selling this thing. We've sold out at all the venues from New York to California. So you'll hear about that. You'll hear the TFR tip of the week. Basically, we're going to give you some things to do now that the weekend is here. We're going to give you some things to do to kind of help out in your efforts to get in shape, to be healthy and fit. We trying to help out and see what we can do to kind of like finish off your week, get you started for next week, and maybe you'll even lose a couple of pounds. So you want to be here today, the Fitness Report radio show coming to you live. We are streaming on Facebook Live as well as IntellectualRadio.com. Check me out. We are on live right now. So the number to call in is 708-223-8953, and we're going to get started. First, for the advertising, today I want to give a couple of shout-outs. Today. I want to give a couple of shameless plugs, and we want to get into the show after that. So first off, I like to say thank you to the Body Buffer, the Miracle Body Buffer. You'll see it soon. But I like to give a shout out to the Body Buffer, www.bff.com. Body Buffer is a pretty cool piece of equipment. Like I said, we're going to show you all about it, and we're going to get into it in a minute. Total Transformation Wellness, expertise in wellness, business planning, and just all around reasons to just be the best of whoever you want to be. Total Transformation Wellness. Fit Black and Educated. Fit Black and Educated is a fitness education tool used online as well as in person. If you're in California, a couple of experts that I know, Mars Fit, get the word out there as far as helping you get in shape. They provide boot camps, they provide personal training, they provide education for those who need to know more of what it takes to get in shape. And the Fitness Representative Personal Training, representing fitness for life, for those who want to get in shape, for those who feel like they can't do it alone, for those who need some help and just want to be better at what it is they do with their bodies, with their lifestyles, which leads to so many cool things. Once you're in shape, once you feel good, once you look good, once you're good mentally, you can travel the world. You can give everybody that inspiration that's needed, so that you can make the world a better place. The Fitness Representative Personal Training, representing fitness for life. We have, once again, Fit Certificates. Fit certificates are used for those who want to give the gift of fitness and health to those who aren't in a situation to give to themselves. So if you want to give a gift, you want to give someone something, hey, it's not all about holidays, it's not all about Christmas, it's not all about birthdays, but if they just so happen to come up, what better gift to give them than to give them the gift of fitness? The fitness representative, fitness certificates representing fitness for life. So today, want you guys to kind of call in if you can, because I'm pretty sure everyone's been in this situation either as a kid, a young adult, or full grown up. Everyone's taking public transportation. Everyone's taking, and if you haven't, mainly in these two cities between New York and Chicago, if you haven't taken public transportation, then I mean, where you been? You been under a rock? So today I want you to call in. If you guys have a situation that you feel was uh was beneficial or something that you couldn't get past as far as an inconvenience, hit me up. I want to know your public transportation story of the day. So we calling in. The number is 708-223-8953. But first, we have the TFR fitness tip of the week, the fitness representative tip of the week. So today we want to go into the next 3 days. Starting today, we want to go in the next 3 days, starting today, flushing out the body. The TFR tip of the week, we want to flush out the body today. So what I want you to do, I want you to think about something. I want you to take today, tomorrow, and the next day, and I want you to see if after eating what you want all week, and this is whether you have a good diet or not, after eating what you want all week, I want to see if you can take this next 2 or 3 days and flush out your system. And I'm not talking with some lemon water and all that crap that you see people going on only to go back to eating like crap afterwards, but I'm talking about a healthy flush. And a healthy flush basically is is done by using the most healthy foods, the healthiest foods, by drinking the healthiest liquids and getting basically as much as you can of those two things. So when I speak of a flush, I'm speaking of upwards towards 100 ounces of water. You want to just go nothing but water. This is not even about any other beverage, any other liquid. We're going upward towards 100 ounces of water. 64 is fine, but we want to push it even further than that. We want to go to 70, 80, 90, up to 100 ounces of water. We also want to do what nature intended for us to do the most of, and that's eat the vegetables that are on this earth. We want to go all water soluble vegetables over the next couple of days just to see if it makes a difference in your body. See how your bowel movements come, see how your body kind of empties out all of the bad things. We want to see if it's possible. So the TFR tip of the week is for you to do a flush using nothing but fruits and vegetables. And when I talk about fruits and vegetables, I'm thinking in particular, I'm thinking vegetables that are pretty much made up of all water, the greens. Now remember, there's sodium in all veggies. Some have a low content, some have a high content. So I want you to do your research and see which ones have a low content when it comes to the veggies. I'm talking salad. I'm talking a colorful vegetable meal. Now you can go smoothie, you can go grilled veggies, you can go fresh and just chew on them as snacks. But what I'm thinking about is mostly green veggies. I'm talking about romaine lettuce if it's good. I'm talking even if you're in love with iceberg, go with iceberg. I don't prefer iceberg because it's just not as good. But I'm talking even iceberg. But you can go romaine, you can go spinach, you can go the spring mix. I'm talking over the next couple of days, see if you can do mostly water soluble veggies, green veggies, colorful salads, smoothies that are all veggie smoothies, all fruits and vegetables for the week for this weekend. See if you can do that. See if you can go without eating a baked potato or a sweet potato when it comes to the vegetables. See if you can do that. See if you can go with just fruits during the day because just like veggies have sodium, fruit has sugar. So you still want to make sure that because fruit has sugar, you don't want to eat it too late. You don't want to go all night eating fruit because the sugar content is just the same as eating sweets. It's going to sit on you at night and it's going to screw up the flush at night. So you want to basically see if you can do all water soluble vegetables over the next couple of days. See how it comes out. And Monday, beginning of the week, make sure you hit me up. See that it worked for you. Hit my line. The number is 312-857-5668. Hit me up. Let me know if it was something that was good for you. Now, if you're in the bathroom all weekend, that might be one of the what something that keep you from doing it. But when it comes to helping kickstart a healthy habit, when it comes to helping kickstart what your body can do by June, is something definitely to be done. All right, that's the TFR tip of the week brought to you by the Fitness Representative. Once again, we are streaming live, Facebook Live. We're on IntellectualRadio.com. The number to call in for the Fitness Report radio show is 708-223-8953. Now, we're gonna get into the topic of today. We're gonna get into the topic of today. But first, we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna bring it out early in the game. Now, like I said earlier, we have a piece of equipment here today that's been sweeping the nation for a while now. It's something that my buddy Josh came up with long time ago, and rumor has it, stories has it that one day, after drinking and hanging out all night, the body buffer was born, and it was one of those things where during the party, you're partying all night, everybody's drinking and hanging out, and you say, "Hey, I have an idea that maybe I can bring up while everybody's wide open because this is something that's this is something that's gonna be big, but it's also something that's gonna be funny, and some people might look at it as a joke." So story has it that Josh came out with a car buffer, regular old car buffer, and and we all know what a car buffer looks like. Came out with a car buffer and started to now a car buffer oscillates. It doesn't vibrate, it oscillates. That's how you get those circles in the car, and you get it deep down within the paint job, shining up the car as good as you want it to shine. Now, during that time, like I said, everybody's pretty wasted, pretty nice, and it's one of those things where, hey, I can pretty much show you what I want to because everybody's open enough to even to see it. So we're gonna just start massaging folks with an actual car buffer. And night goes on, massage all everybody's like, "Oh my God, this feels great. It's weird, but it's great. It's like the best weird feeling ever." Wakes up the next morning and comes up with an idea. So what we're gonna show you now is called what I would like to say, and what the company slogan is, your best friend forever. So we're gonna bring them out. And if you know me, you've seen it before. It's nothing new. It's nothing that you haven't seen. But this right here, this is called, for my audience out there, this is the BFF. This is the BFF right there. Best friend forever. It's nothing new, but it's definitely something that if you haven't ever had it before, or let it touch you, if this thing touches you from the time that I push that button, you are gonna know that this is your best friend forever. So basically, what it is, it's a massage tool. As an athlete, as a trainer, as someone that works out and stays active, or for the person who sits all day and who basically can't get to a foam roller or have time to go stretch. This right here, it's instant. It's an instant feel good. So as soon as I touch myself here, just like that, as soon as I touch, it's a good feeling. It doesn't take 10 minutes for it to warm up. As soon as I push that button, you feel it. Has a lever here to go faster, has the lever to go slower. This is the best friend forever, the body buffer. So what I would do is basically stand up, getting right into the muscle tissue and feel the effects of that thing like ASAP. I can hit my shoulders, I can hit my lower back, just like that. This thing guaranteed is the best piece of equipment out there when it comes to massage and when it comes to just getting the benefit of like a foam roller or some type of needle gun that you see today. Nothing's better than the Miracle Body Buffer. And if you go online and check it out, you'll see that it does way more than what I'm showing you right now. And it's definitely worth whatever price it is to pay for it. If you want the body buffer, got great deals right now. The number to call is, once again, 312-857-5668. You get your deals through the Fitness Representative Personal Training. So if you guys thinking about any type of purchase of the body buffer, that number to dial, 312-857-5668. All right, so we're gonna go into the show and the beef and broccoli of the show today, which we have a couple of topics to talk about that are pretty important, and we have a couple of comparisons that we're gonna go with today, because we got city folks from here to the East Coast that basically use public transit on a daily basis. And I want you guys to call in. Like I said, the call-in number is 708-223-8953. Now, what I want you to ponder, I want your thoughts to run right into this situation right here. Every day, seeing that mass transit between, we're talking two cities. We're talking two cities right now. We're talking New York City and we're talking Chicago. LA also, but LA's not super big on public transportation. That's why those highways are just ridiculous. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go into the two major cities that deal with public transportation, and those two cities are New York City and Chicago, Illinois. So first of all, just a couple of numbers. Both cities have mass transit. Both cities have public transit. And the reason we're coming up with this topic today, the reason I came up with the topic was basically to say, hey, I wonder will we be in better shape if we use public transportation more? I wonder will we be able to, walk more? Will we be able to get around more efficiently if we use public transportation more? Because that's what it was built for. That's the reason why it was built. And if you do the numbers, it's a huge difference between how much public transit is taken in New York and Chicago. And it's not only because New York City is bigger, it's also because basically it's more convenient. Now here in Chicago, we like the convenience to be at our own call. We want to be the ones who talk about getting from place to place when we want to, not just on somebody else's time, or not just on the city's time. So I don't know if it's a status thing or not, because a lot of times when you take public transportation, you're looked upon as not being able to have your own. And I see it a lot in Chicago, and I kind of, I've kind of gone into that thought process sometimes also. But me, living on the north side of the city where it's always congested and you got public transportation everywhere, even more so than any other place in the city. You kind of think about, man, I wish I could take public transportation more. And recently, my car got hit, and my car was out probably for about 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. And I started to take public transportation. Public transportation was a lot less of a mental strain than it was to drive around every day. The traffic the traffic took away a lot of traffic in general. It takes away your creativity. It takes away your time to think about a lot of different things that could help you out on the daily basis, other than stressing out about who's gonna hit your car and who you're gonna run into, or how much parking screws up, and just things like that. So my thing is, I want to know what you guys think about when it comes to health and fitness. Do you think it's better to drive to your destination and maybe be active once you get there? Or do you think that public transportation plays a huge part in how healthy and fit you are? So we want to ponder that. The number to call in is 708-223-8953, especially if you're in one of the two cities. All right, so we're gonna throw some numbers out there. On a daily basis, these two cities have some of the most public transportation usage in the entire world. Of course, New York City is a city of 8 to 10 million, and out of that 8 to 10 million in New York City, on a daily basis, and this is not up to date info as far as 2019, but in the recent past, data says that New York City commuters commute. They got 55%. Got a caller. Caller, state your name and where you from.
Hi, this is Buffy Jackson from North Lawndale, Illinois, Chicago.
Buffy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good.
I was calling about the transportation mention.
Okay.
And you stated, do you feel like you're unhealthy because you drive everywhere? I have to say personally, yes. As a child, my mom walked everywhere. She does not have a driver's license. She does not drive.
Wow.
My mom she can get up 6 flights of stairs better than I can, and I drive to the mailbox.
Right. Wow. Times have changed, right?
Yes, they definitely have, and I feel like now I am trying to incorporate more public transportation and walking into my daily routine. Like I walk at least a mile and a half to get into the office, to get into downtown Chicago.
Right.
Because I've seen the benefits of walking and just using the bus and the train to get around rather than driving my car right to the front door or something and getting less than, I mean, even when I look at my tracker, my step counter,
Right.
if I'm walking, I'm getting over 10,000 steps daily.
True.
If I'm driving, I have literally gone days with like 2,000 steps.
Right. And it's good that you bring that up, because just everyone has a step counter on their phone these days. And for you're looking for a parking spot that's usually, like you said, a mile and a half or so away from your job. You have to walk into downtown. And for one, if you do it any other way, you're gonna pay for it. It's a difference between $4, $2 to $4 paying per hour, and 40 to 60 and $80 for the day. So I'm pretty sure that you save, as well as be able to, just get around and get in better shape on a daily basis and keep your step count up from walking into and out of downtown. Yeah, so that
When you said that, it kind of hit home for me. I'm like, I have to call in and definitely say that there is a big difference.
right.
Cars are of convenience, but they are killing us.
I got a question for you though. As a person who's from Chicago, and you've also visited New York, do you think it would be best for the general public, do you think it would be best to at least for city folks, not, if you're in the suburbs, then it's kind of tough. You kind of need a car. But for us who live in the city, do you think it's better, more convenient, and healthier, just as a straight out answer, to have a car or have access to a car, but actually take public transit? Just having a car when you need it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that that is the best route to have a car when needed. That option is ideal,
Right.
but you need to take the public transportation. And it's funny you bring up the New York thing because recently I was in New York and I there are people in New York, like I think on average,
Uh-huh.
the majority of New Yorkers don't own licenses. They do not drive.
Yeah, they don't drive as much. It's over half. It's
Yeah.
over half that use public transit.
And you ask someone like from Chicago, if I ask someone where to go,
Uh-huh.
they will give you the straight route. Like you take this street to that street, that street to this street, and that's how
Right.
you get there. That's the car route to get
Right.
there. You
Right.
ask someone from New York, they're going to tell you, well, you have to take this train, then you get off that train, then you take that train, then you get off that train, you get this bus, and then you
Right.
get out there, you might have to walk, a few blocks that way. And they communicate differently because they are so used to public transportation being their main venue of getting around.
That's true. And that's why we brought it up today, because it's about to get warm out at some point, and both cities are cold right now, but even still, on a daily basis, hundreds of thousands all the way up to the millions take public transit. So it's definitely a conversation to be had. I thank you for calling in, and hopefully you continue to use that train and bus along with your personal vehicle strategically so that you stay in great shape.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Now, like as the caller said, she walks to work on the daily. And of course she's not the only person. You got hundreds of thousands of people working downtown, working in the Loop, working in Streeterville, working in River North. And most of them, if you go past these parking lots are packed. And it's because a lot of people are coming from the suburbs. So I get it. But as my late auntie used to do it, she took the metro. She parked her car at the corner right down on 147th and took the metro into downtown on a daily basis for year after year after year. She even had a crew that they would all meet, so they make sure they take the same train or the same public transportation into downtown, just so you can save money on gas, you save money on parking. You got to get up a little bit earlier, but just walking. I remember seeing my aunt walk to the train station with my little cousin Ryan, and she's trying to get there so fast that she's raising him up off the ground every step he takes because he's so short and he's walking slow. So basically, I mean, if you can get a hold to a good public transit situation, that might be the best thing going. And like I said, if you do the numbers, New York City, 2.4 million people ride the train and bus daily. 2.4 million people. Now, and if you're talking Manhattan, almost 100% of those in Manhattan, but just New York City overall, the five boroughs, 2.4 million daily ride that train and ride that bus throughout the city. That the difference between New York City and every other city in the nation on into the world, it's about, like I said, it's about 55% usage of the public transportation in New York. 55% usage. Guess what the average is nationally? Including Chicago, where a lot of people use public transportation also. It is 4.9%. 4.9% compared to 55% in New York. Now, being someone who frequents New York City, and it's like a second home to me, basically everywhere you go, it's an inconvenience to drive. It's a huge inconvenience to drive. It's basically impossible to park unless you go way over here, even though you need to be way over there. So that's part of the reason why. But that reason has led to a lot of people being in better shape, and me being a fitness professional, and I've gone from city to city teaching fitness, doing a lot of training and just observing the people. Basically, I just look at the bodies, the places where you go where mass transit is optional and you can really go without it. They're not as healthy. They're not as healthy unless you go out west. You go out west, you go to Colorado, you go to, California and different places like that. It's a little bit different because the terrain alone does the job. So it doesn't matter. As soon as you get out your car out west, you're walking up some hill. As simple as that. But on the east, even like in Chicago, there aren't too many hills in Chicago. You go to New York City, you go to Manhattan. Shout out to Washington Heights, Cito. You go to Manhattan, it's a lot of hills, and you wouldn't even know that because they always show Times Square on TV or they show just the urban terrain, but they don't show how those hills go up and down on the east side and the west side in New York City. But like I said, 55% of the commuters on a daily basis use public transportation compared to 4.9%. And New Yorkers aren't the most fit in the United States, but they're definitely not the most unfit. And a lot of it is due to all of the public transportation that you got to take. You going from station to station, you walking from bus to bus line, and it just has to be something that you basically that becomes a part of your life. Now, if you compare that to Chicago, of course, Chicago is not as populated as New York. We're around 3 million, a little bit less than 3 million. So on a daily basis, Chicagoans there's about 800, and once again, this is just recent data. For as far as the train goes, there's about 826,000 passengers on a daily basis. Almost 827,000 on a daily basis that use the bus. The train is 760,000 on a daily basis, and that's normally a Monday through Friday. So basically, that's when everyone goes to work. That's when everyone is out and about. You kind of chill out on the weekend. And I don't know that those numbers just drop super drastic on the weekend, but I'm pretty sure they drop because you don't want to get around. You don't want to get out on the weekend as much. But Chicagoans, the difference is that we use public transportation mostly when we can't get around by car. When we can't, it becomes an option almost like we can't afford a car or our license are taken or we just want to get out for an outing because the weather's nice. It's not necessary in Chicago. A lot of people, it is really, but a lot of people feel like it's not necessary. I don't understand it, but maybe someone can help me understand. The number to call in is 708-223-8953. We are live. This is the Fitness Report radio show, IntellectualRadio.com. We are on Facebook Live right now. So what I would say, like I said, being in both cities a lot, I wonder why is it that when I'm in New York City and I'm on the train and I'm taking the train up and down Manhattan, from Harlem all the way down to from uptown to downtown, you see all different types of people. So not only do you have the people who can't, you don't have, it's not just the minority thing, it's not just the money thing. You're on the train with millionaires. You're on the train with millionaires, like literally, you're on the train with millionaires. You're on the train with rappers. You're on the train with basketball players and athletes. You're on the train with minorities who just got to the United States. No one is exempt from public transportation in New York City. And I think it's because the popularity of public transportation never died down, even though certain people wanted to feel like, okay, they were beyond this or they were past the status quo. I see the 1% take that train just like I see the 99%, just like I see the negative 1%. So it's not dependent on what your situation is as far as money. Now in Chicago, And I have an issue with it because in Chicago, it seems like we only take the train when we have to. It's almost as if we're trying our best to stay off the train and the bus, whether it's because of the bums you see and the peddlers. The peddlers, just for comfort, got us spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on gas and parking, thousands of dollars a year on all that stuff just so we don't have to sit next to them. When honestly, you just go from A to B, everything will be all right, you know? The trains are secure these days. There's cameras everywhere. There's a little less of a reason to feel so unsafe. So, you can do it, but man, we don't really like to get on that train in Chicago as much as we do take those cars, even if it's from, a mile away. Like the caller said, sometimes she drives to the mailbox. That's usually what you see in different places like the country, but you get used to that. You get used to just being able to come and go when you want. But I tell you what, it's a load off when you can really just park that car, get on the train, and just do nothing but take public transit. So just as a tip, see how much you can take public transit. I grew up doing it. My parents do it. They've done it, and it's something so beneficial to your health. It really can add some years to your life. All right, so next topic, the main thing other than just transportation that we wanted to talk about, we wanted to talk about a topic that's really important when it comes to our youth as well as adults who have just come out of school, going into the workforce, and those who really want to just stay active throughout their lives, no matter what their situation is when it comes to sports. We wanted to talk about what you do after it's all over. I did a segment once during a seminar called Beyond the Sport. Now, when you think of that, you think of how normally when you're in school, your parents usually put you in something. Your parents usually have you doing something, whether it's a debate team or chess club or some type of club, or as athletics. From the time you're 4, 5, 6 years old, your parents, if they're that type of parent, they have you doing something. And even if they're not, when you go out into your neighborhood, you always see kids that are doing athletics throughout your time growing up. Now, this is the issue. Once again, I said this is the time of year. This is like that second quarter when it comes to health and fitness. Now through June, everyone tends to want to get in shape and be good by June so that they get to go wherever they want to in the world and show off that six pack, show off their beer belly, show off whatever changes they made or didn't make for that first or second quarter of the year, or from last year when the holidays just tore your body to pieces. So, what we want to talk about today was just going beyond the sport. Because if you think about it, when you think about sports, sports keep you in great shape depending on what it is. Sometimes you get bigger, sometimes you get smaller, sometimes you get faster, sometimes you get stronger. Sports keep you in whatever shape that's vital to you succeeding in that sport. But this is the thing, what happens afterwards? What happens beyond the sport? So, in today's topic, beyond the sport, I just want to give you some tips on what it is to be in shape once you're done playing, once you're done being the athlete that you were for the last 10 years plus. Not everybody makes it to the league. There's not even, I think it's about roughly 400 or less players in most of the leagues. So you think about that, that means, and then you think about the thousands and thousands of collegiate athletes who aren't going to make it. There's double digit thousands of collegiate athletes. There's mostly hundreds of players on the team. Football is even less than that. So if you think about the time that you're able to compete in athletics, you think about the time that it takes for you to, well, the time span from the time, like I say, you're 4 or 5 years old all the way up until you're, say, 30 to 40. Mainly for those who are just professionals with a regular job or some type of job like that, you're probably 21, 22 when you're done. Because soon as college is over, you go into that career, you probably don't play as much as you did if you play at all. So I guess what I'm saying is, what do you do beyond the sport? What do you do to stay in shape beyond the sport? We were talking, myself and one of my colleagues, and we were talking about women. Most women stop playing sports once they leave high school. A lot of them stop in junior high, and you just go on coast through high school with whatever career you chose, unless you're active in sports. So almost 90% of our teenage girls who go into adulthood, 18, 19-year-old, they never move again in that fashion once they become that age. 18 to 24, the decline is so crazy that you never really move again. Everything is calculated based off of the time it takes for you to get to work, or for the time it takes for you to get to school, or whatever you need to do. That's just the standard in what it is to get by in life. To stay active beyond 18 these days for a female is pretty tough, because we've been conditioned to just, and now that women make up so much of the workforce, they've been conditioned to just go to work. So you see, you don't see as many people running as you should. You don't see as many people staying active as you should. So what I'm gonna do today is basically give you some tips on what it is to be active for the rest of your life, even though you no longer play an organized sport. First up, it might not be organized, but you might want to get you some type of class going, which means you need a gym membership. A gym membership these days, which is a monthly membership, is so important. It's so important. Unless you're the type that don't like to be around people and don't like to converse and get that feeling that it takes to commune with others, like you do at church, or like you do at the movies, or like you do at different gatherings, then you need a gym membership. And it's really great now. You got Planet Fitness out there, just to name off one of the really cheap memberships that you can get for a place that really does offer more than what that price is. It's not the best gym. It's not, it's not Equinox. It's not EBC. But if you're looking to go in and stay in shape and really, make sure that you don't fall off, $10 is cool. $10. Most people pay $10 a day to eat lunch on a daily basis, spending all your money on lunch, $10 a day. So $10 a month, that's perfect. And especially the fact that they're in every neighborhood now and really growing off of this whole cheap gym trend. So a gym membership, very important. Depending on your income and your financial situation, you can always have a pretty cool situation going with a gym membership. Second, and these are all things for just maintaining a type of fitness level beyond the sport. Okay? Beyond the sport. The second thing is to be a part of a class at that gym. Be a part of a class at that gym. As a fitness professional, I always say that you need help. It's always best to have help. It's always best to make sure that someone else can help you when it comes to getting in shape. Why? No one can push you. You can't push yourself as much or as good or as efficient as someone else can push you. So it's simple as that. It's nothing against you. It's nothing against what you learned while you was playing sports, but it's no way that you can push yourself harder than I can. And if I'm the leader of that class and I'm a good leader and I'm seasoned and I know what I'm doing in that profession, I'm gonna train you better than you can train yourself. So if you can get with a class with the camaraderie and the accountability and everyone holding you to your word, you can get in great shape. You can get in better shape. And the last thing is, which to me is the most important, if you ask me, And maybe it's my bias because it's my profession. But if you can if you can afford a good personal trainer, if you can afford to get, and it's because it's all about, a lot of times it just comes down to the money. It comes down to the income. If you can afford a good, knowledgeable, well versed, easy, tough, easygoing, like depending on what you need, personal trainer, personal fitness professional, one-on-one private trainer, you'll be doing yourself a lovely service by actually getting that trainer. Some are good, some are bad, some are great, some are knowledgeable, some just do what they just want you to do what they do. But if you get you a knowledgeable trainer that can basically assess your needs, and assess what's needed for you, the individual, to get in shape, stay in shape, and keep that going for long periods of time, you don't want to lose that person. You want to keep that going for the rest of your life. The big misconception is that you get you a trainer for 90 days. Once the 90 days is up and you're in shape, then you lose that trainer. Why? Because you're in shape now. That's not how it goes. I promise. If first of all, I've had clients for 10 years. For 10 of the 10 years that I've been training, I still have some of those clients. And the dedicated ones are the ones who stay because they want to stay in shape for the rest of their lives. It's not about June. It's not about the summertime. It's about how I want to feel better than I would without you. So shout out to those who participate in classes. Shout out to those who have trainers, and shout out to those who have a gym membership, because it's ways like that that help you stay in shape beyond the sport. Also, if you live in an area, the United States has different terrain throughout the whole country. So if you live in an area where there's a lot of mountainous terrain, there's a lot of up and down, there's a lot of beaches and stuff like that, you want to take use of all that. You want to make sure you optimize the usage of all that. You want to make sure you stay healthy by actually moving around, getting that heart rate up, keeping the calories down, and making sure you keep a healthy body fat, a healthy body weight, and all those things, no matter if you're playing sports or not, because that can add so many more years on your life and really put you in a situation to where you're not at the mercy of the doctors and at the mercy of the pharmacists at the end of the day. I hear more people within the minority community speaking on what pills they got to go pick up than that gym membership all day. And why is because there's only a few trusted people. And the main person you trust is that doctor. And that doctor tells you pretty much to go see one person, and that's the pharmacist. And it's the pharmacist who's going to make sure you're okay through those through that little bottle full of words that you just don't understand why they even name it that. So if I'm sitting up here taking Pamoxibel or whatever, some made up word based off of where you found it and how much you mixed this and that together, if I'm doing that versus going to the gym or going outside for a long walk or just punching the air 50 times to make sure my heart rate goes up from wherever it was, then it's a problem with that. So, you know what I'm saying? Get out, get active, and make sure by any means necessary that you keep your body fat down, you keep your weight down, and you take care of yourself without the doctor. Going to the doctor and going to the pharmacist only when needed. Much love to y'all. We're gonna end it off today by saying Flashback Friday. Shout out to those who paved the way for us and all the things that we do. And be good to yourselves, be good to others, take care of your family, and remember, you got to be number one and the greatest fan to yourself. Much love to y'all. Fitness Report radio show brought to you by the Fitness Representative. Peace.
You're tuned in to IntellectualRadio-Podcast.
Hey, y'all check that out. Go check that out. This piece right here. Go check it out. You'll see it again. You'll see it again.